The message came on a Tuesday. All around the world, every screen showed the same thing. A strange symbol that looked like a spiral with 7 points. Then the screens changed to show a face that wasn't human. It had blue skin, large eyes, and no nose. "People of Earth," it said in perfect English. "I am Ambassador Zartha of the Galactic Council. We have been watching your world for some time. We believe you are ready to join our community of worlds. We will arrive at your space station in 3 of your days. Please have your leaders ready to meet us." The world went crazy. Some people were happy. Some were scared. Some didn't believe it was real. But when a giant ship appeared next to the International Space Station 3 days later, everyone believed. Jack Miller paced back and forth in the meeting room of the space station. As the director of NASA, he was chosen to meet the aliens along with Susan White, the best diplomat from the United Nations. "Stop pacing," Susan said. "You're making me nervous." "Sorry," Jack said. "It's not every day we meet aliens." A light flashed, and a door opened. 3 aliens walked in. They all had blue skin like the one on TV, but they were different heights. The tallest one stepped forward. "I am Zartha," he said. "Thank you for meeting us. We are pleased to welcome Earth to the Galactic Council." Jack shook the alien's hand. It felt cold and smooth. "Thank you for coming. We have many questions." "Of course," Zartha said. "But first, let us discuss your membership in the Council." For the next 5 hours, they talked about what it meant to join the Galactic Council. The aliens said Earth would get new technology, protection from danger, and the chance to meet other alien species. In return, Earth would follow Council laws and give some of its resources to the Council. "This seems fair," Susan said. "But we need to read the full agreement and share it with our leaders." "Of course," Zartha said. He handed her a small device. "This contains everything." Back on Earth, teams of lawyers and scientists studied the agreement. What they found made them worried. "Jack, have you seen this?" Susan asked, pointing at her screen. Section 127.3 says they can take any resources they want if they decide it's for galactic security. And look at this part. Earth only gets 1 vote out of thousands in the Council, even though we have billions of people. Jack read the sections and frowned. "And this part says they can put their military bases anywhere on Earth without asking us first." Susan looked up. "This isn't a fair deal. They're treating us like a colony, not a partner." 2 days later, Jack and Susan went back to the space station. Zartha was waiting with a smile. "Have you signed the agreement?" he asked. "Once you do, we can begin sharing our technology with you." Susan stepped forward. "Ambassador, we've reviewed your offer carefully. There are terms hidden in the document that are not acceptable to us." Zartha's smile disappeared. "These are standard terms for all new members." "Then we must decline," Jack said firmly. "Earth will not join under these conditions." Zartha's eyes widened. "No species has ever declined membership. Perhaps you don't understand the benefits." "We understand perfectly," Susan interrupted. "We also understand what you're not saying. This meeting is over. We will escort you back to your ship." The aliens looked at each other in shock. They had never been dismissed like this before. "This is most irregular," Zartha said. "The Council will not be pleased." "That's not our problem," Jack replied. "Earth makes its own decisions." After the aliens left, Susan turned to Jack. "Do you think we did the right thing?" Jack looked out the window at the alien ship as it moved away from the station. "I don't know. But I know we couldn't say yes to those terms. Whatever happens next, at least we stood up for ourselves." As the alien ship disappeared into space, neither of them knew that across the galaxy, the Galactic Council was about to have its first panic attack in 4,000 years. The Grand Hall of the Galactic Council buzzed with angry voices. Over 300 alien representatives from different worlds sat in curved rows that went up like a giant bowl. At the center stood Ambassador Zartha, his blue skin now pale with worry. "Silence," shouted the council leader, a tall alien with gold skin named Voxnar. The room went quiet. Ambassador Zartha, explain again how these humans rejected our generous offer. Zartha shifted uncomfortably. They claimed to find problems with the standard agreement. They said the terms were not fair. A red-skinned alien stood up. This was General Kravex, the head of the council's military. This is why we should not waste time with diplomacy. These humans are dangerous. Our spies report they are developing technology faster than any species we have seen. If we do not control them now, they could become a threat. Many council members nodded in agreement. Zartha raised his hand. I believe we should try once more with better terms. The humans are not like other species we have encountered. They value their freedom greatly. Voxnar looked around the room. We will vote. Who supports military action now? Many hands went up, but not quite half. Who supports a second diplomatic mission? Again, many hands, but not a majority. Voxnar thought for a moment. We will compromise. We will send an ultimatum to the humans. They must join the council within 30 of their days, or they will be cut off from all galactic contact. No trade, no communication, no technology. They will be alone. The council voted, and this time most hands went up. The decision was made. On Earth, President Diane Powell sat at the head of a large table in the White House. Around her were the most important people in the world. General Alan Hayes from the military, Dr. Peter Jones, who led the world's scientists, and representatives from many countries. The alien message came 1 hour ago, President Powell said. They demand we join their council within 30 days, or it will cut us off from all contact with other worlds. Is that a threat or a promise? General Hayes asked, making a few people smile. Dr. Jones spoke up. From what we learned during their visit, their technology is far beyond ours. But they seem very surprised by our rejection. I think they're used to species doing whatever they say. A woman from China stood up. We should not give in to threats. My country votes to reject their ultimatum. One by one, every country's representative said the same thing. No one wanted to join the council on their terms. President Powell nodded. Then we are united. We reject their ultimatum. But we must prepare for what comes next. I have an idea, said Dr. Jones. When the aliens visited our space station, we collected data from their ship. My team has been studying it. We think we can build a shield that would hide Earth from their sensors. General Hayes looked surprised. You mean make the whole planet invisible? Not invisible to eyes, but to their scanning technology, Dr. Jones explained. They wouldn't be able to monitor us. We could work in secret. How long would it take to build this shield? President Powell asked. We'll need every scientist and engineer on the planet working together, but we might be able to do it before their deadline, Dr. Jones said. President Powell stood up. Then that's our plan. We'll reject their ultimatum, but we won't fight them directly. Instead, we'll disappear. General Hayes, prepare our defenses in case they attack. Dr. Jones, get your shield built. As everyone left the room, President Powell looked out the window at the sky. They think we'll either submit or beg for another chance, she said quietly to herself. They have no idea what humans do when cornered. Across the galaxy, the Galactic Council waited confidently for the humans to give in. They had no idea that for the first time in their long history, they were about to lose track of an entire species. 30 days passed. In the Galactic Council chamber, Ambassador Zartha stood nervously before the leaders. The deadline has passed, said Voxnar, the council leader. What is the humans' answer? Zartha looked down at his empty hands. They did not respond at all. Whispers filled the chamber. This had never happened before. No response. Voxnar's voice rose in anger. Not even a request for more time. Nothing, Zartha said. We sent 3 messages after the deadline. None were answered. General Kravex stepped forward. This is outrageous. I will lead a delegation to Earth myself. We will remind these primitives who holds the power in this galaxy. 3 days later, a fleet of 5 council ships approached Earth's solar system. General Kravex stood on the bridge of the lead ship, ready to show the humans the might of the Galactic Council. "Scan the system," he ordered. The crew worked at their stations, then looked up in confusion. "Sir, we're not detecting any signals from Earth." "Check again," Kravex ordered. "We have, sir. There are no transmissions, no satellites active, nothing." "That's impossible," Kravex snapped. "A planet with billions of people can't just go silent." The ships moved closer to Earth. They could see the blue planet through their viewports, but their sensors showed nothing. No radio signals, no energy readings, no sign of technology. "It's like they've disappeared," an officer said. "Land on the planet," Kravex ordered. "We'll see for ourselves." But as the ships tried to enter Earth's atmosphere, they hit something invisible. A shield of energy pushed them back. "What is this?" Kravex demanded. "Some kind of barrier, sir. Our weapons can't penetrate it." "Impossible. They're primitives. They can't have this technology." But the shield held, and after hours of trying, the council ships had to retreat. Back on Earth, in a deep underground bunker, Dr. Peter Jones watched the alien ships leave on a special screen. Around him, a team of scientists and engineers cheered. "The ghost shield works," he said with a smile. "They can see us, but they can't detect any technology or signals." General Hayes nodded approvingly, and the defense barrier kept them from landing. "How did you develop these so quickly?" "We didn't develop them from scratch," Dr. Jones explained. "We reverse-engineered the technology from data we collected during their first visit. Their own shields gave us the key to building ours." President Powell entered the room, and everyone stood. "Good work, everyone. Operation Ghost Shield is a success. From now on, Earth is officially silent to the Galactic Council." "What's our next step?" asked General Hayes. "Now we really get to work," President Powell said. "Dr. Jones, continue developing new technology based on what we learned from the aliens. General Hayes, start training pilots for the new ships we're building." "We're building ships?" someone asked. President Powell smiled. "Of course. Just because we're hiding doesn't mean we're going to sit here doing nothing. The Council thinks they've lost track of a primitive species. Let's use that time to become something they never expected." Across the galaxy, the Galactic Council held an emergency meeting. "This is unprecedented," Voxnar said, his voice shaking. "The humans have deployed a planetary cloaking shield. Our best scientists say this should be impossible for their level of technology." "How did they advance so quickly?" a council member asked. "We don't know," admitted Zartha. "But it means one thing. We can no longer monitor their development. We have no idea what they're doing down there." General Kravex slammed his fist on the table. "This is a disaster. A potentially hostile species has just disappeared from our sight. For the first time in Council history, we have lost control of the situation." The Council members looked at each other in growing fear. A species that could advance this quickly, that would rather hide than join them. What would the humans do next? On Earth, hidden from alien eyes, humanity began to prepare for the stars. 3 years passed since Earth went silent. The Galactic Council tried to forget about the humans, but strange reports began to surface. On the edge of Council space, a patrol ship chased a vessel of unknown design. The mystery ship was fast, much faster than it should be. "Almost got them," said the patrol captain. "Ready weapons." But just as they came close, the unknown ship seemed to fade away, like it was never there. "What happened?" the captain demanded. "It's gone, sir," said a crew member. "Our sensors can't find it." Similar reports came in from all across Council space. Ships that appeared and disappeared. Equipment missing from remote mining stations. Strange signals that no one could explain. In the Council chamber, a scientist named Dr. Vextal presented his findings. "I found this at an abandoned trade station," he said, holding up a small container. It contains traces of human DNA. The council members looked at each other in alarm. You mean humans have been to that station? Voxnar asked. How is that possible? They're trapped behind their shield. Apparently not, Dr. Vextel said. I believe they've been studying us while we thought they were hiding. General Kravex stood up. This is worse than we feared. The humans are not cowering on their planet. They're spreading throughout our territory unseen. Deep in space, far from the Council's eyes, Commander Olivia Martinez sat on the bridge of the first human starship built for long-distance travel. It was called the Phantom, and it lived up to its name. The ship could move without being detected by Council technology. Status report, Olivia said. All systems normal, Commander, replied her pilot. The new stealth drive is working perfectly. Council ships have no idea we're here. Olivia looked at the star map on her screen. Red dots showed all the places humans had already visited. There were hundreds. Any word from the other teams? She asked. Yes, Commander. Alpha Team has finished mapping the trade routes. Beta Team has collected samples of all the technology they found. Gamma Team has placed observation posts in 12 key locations. Olivia nodded. Good. Set course for home. It's time to report back to Earth. On Earth, President Powell sat with her advisors in a room deep underground. The walls were covered with maps of the galaxy that were more detailed than anything the Council had. Operation Phantom Trade is working, General Hayes said. Our ships have collected technology and resources from across Council space. No one suspects a thing. Dr. Jones held up a small device. This is their newest communication tool. We've already figured out how it works and made our own better version. President Powell looked pleased. What about our defense systems? We've built a fleet of 50 ships, General Hayes said, all with stealth technology. We've also placed weapons platforms around Earth that can't be detected by Council scanners. And our observation posts? Powell asked. We know everything the Council is doing, Hayes replied. Every meeting, every decision, every ship movement. They think we've been hiding, but we've been watching them the whole time. A young officer entered the room and handed a note to General Hayes. He read it and looked up with concern. We have a problem. One of our scout ships was detected. The pilot managed to escape, but the Council will know for sure now that we're out there. President Powell stood up. It was bound to happen eventually. We've learned everything we can about them while staying hidden. Perhaps it's time to show the Council what humans have been doing for the past 3 years. Are you suggesting we reveal ourselves? Dr. Jones asked. Powell shook her head. Not yet, but we need to be ready. The Council will be looking for us now. They'll try to find Earth again. Let them try, General Hayes said with confidence. They have no idea what they're going to find. Across the galaxy, the Galactic Council was indeed planning, but their fear was growing. The mysterious humans who had rejected them and then disappeared were now moving invisibly through their territory. For the first time in thousands of years, the Council faced an enemy they couldn't see or understand. Lieutenant Ryan Cook knew he was in trouble. His small scout ship shook as another energy blast from the Council warship hit his shields. This is Council security to unknown vessel. Stop immediately or we will destroy you, came a voice over his radio. Ryan checked his controls. His ship was fast, but the damage to his engine meant he couldn't outrun them anymore. He needed to land somewhere to make repairs. The planet Proxima II was just ahead. It was a busy trading hub where many alien species met to exchange goods. If he could land there, he might blend in long enough to escape. Ryan pushed his damaged ship down toward the planet. The Council warship followed close behind. Smoke filled his cabin as he guided the scout ship to a landing pad on the edge of a busy spaceport. As soon as he landed, Ryan grabbed his emergency pack. He had strict orders about what to do if captured. Destroy all evidence of human technology. He set the self-destruct sequence for 30 seconds, then pressed his hand against a hidden panel in the wall. A secret door opened, revealing a small tunnel that led under the ship and came out 20 meters away. Ryan crawled through just as Council soldiers surrounded his ship. He emerged from a drain cover and mixed with the crowd of aliens in the busy market. Behind him, his ship exploded. The blast was bigger than the Council expected. It damaged 3 nearby buildings and injured several aliens. Ryan slipped away in the confusion. He touched a device on his wrist and spoke quietly. "Eagle down, requesting extraction from Proxima I." A voice answered immediately. "Understood. Go to sleep. Help is coming." Ryan found a quiet corner in an alley and injected himself with a clear liquid. Within seconds, he was unconscious. When the Council soldiers searched the area, all they found was the body of an unknown alien species. They didn't know it was actually Ryan in a state of suspended animation that made him appear dead. His body was taken to a morgue, where hours later it disappeared without a trace. In the Galactic Council chamber, General Kravex presented his report. "The unknown ship was definitely of human design," he said. "When our forces surrounded it, the pilot triggered an explosion that caused significant damage. The pilot escaped but may have died from injuries." "This is an act of war," said Voxnar, the Council leader. "The humans are not just exploring our space. They are now destroying our property and harming our people." The Council voted quickly and unanimously. Humans were officially declared a hostile non-cooperative species. Military action against them was authorized. What the Council didn't know was that humans were already everywhere in their territory. On a Council planet called Zentari, a human woman named Lisa Green sold exotic fruits in the market. She looked like the local aliens thanks to special makeup and prosthetics. Lisa received a coded message on her hidden device. It was time. She had lived among the aliens for 2 years, building a network of human spies across the planet. She walked to the back of her shop and opened a secret panel in the wall. Inside was communication equipment more advanced than anything the Council had. "This is Nightingale," she said into the device, activating all cells in Sector 7. Across the planet, 15 humans who had been living undercover received her message. They began their assigned tasks. Some planted monitoring devices in government buildings. Others copied important data from Council computers. A few prepared safe houses for the next phase of the operation. Lisa knew similar networks were activating on dozens of other planets. The Council thought they were dealing with a few human ships sneaking around. They had no idea that hundreds of human agents already lived among them, learning their weaknesses, preparing for what might come. Back on the Council homeworld, Voxnar called for General Kravex. "I want our best fleet ready," he said. "It's time to find Earth again and end this human problem once and for all." "Yes, sir," Kravex replied. "I've already selected our strongest ships. The humans may have clever tricks, but they cannot stand against the full might of the Council." Neither of them realized that a human janitor was cleaning the floor just outside the door, hearing every word of their plan. Admiral Kextor stood on the bridge of the Council's largest warship, the Unyielding Force. Behind him, 50 of the most powerful ships in the galaxy formed a battle fleet. Their mission was simple: find Earth and force the humans to submit to Council rule. "Status report," Kextor demanded. "We've detected 3 solar systems with Earth-like signatures." "Admiral," said his second-in-command, "they appear to be decoys." Kextor growled in frustration. The humans were clever. They had created fake signals to confuse Council ships. "Ignore the decoys. Use the tracking data from the human ship we found on Proxima II. Follow its origin path." The massive fleet changed course. After 2 days of careful navigation, they found it. The real solar system where Earth was located. "We found them," Kextor said with satisfaction. "Prepare all weapons. The humans think they're clever with their shields and stealth, but they can't hide from us anymore." As the Council fleet approached Earth, they expected to find a helpless planet. Instead, their sensors detected something unexpected: a massive defense grid surrounding the entire solar system. "What is this?" Kextor asked in shock. "Their technology shouldn't be this advanced." "Sir, we're detecting hundreds of small objects moving toward us," an officer reported. "They appear to be some kind of defense platforms." Kextor stood straighter. "This changes nothing. Begin the attack. Show these humans the power of the Council." The battle began. Council ships fired their weapons at the defense platforms, but the small objects moved with impossible speed, dodging most attacks. Then the platforms fired back. Beams of energy cut through space, hitting Council ships with perfect accuracy. "Impossible," Kextor shouted as the ship next to his exploded. "How are they targeting us so precisely?" More Council ships fell under the human attack. The ones that survived faced a new problem. Small human ships appeared out of nowhere, using technology the Council had never seen before. "Sir, the human ships are using some kind of gravity weapon," an officer reported. "They're creating localized gravity fields that are pulling our ships off course." Another officer looked up in terror. "Admiral, sensors show some kind of time distortion around the Parker. The ship appears to be moving in slow motion." Kextor watched in horror as the Parker, one of his best ships, became an easy target for human weapons. It was destroyed in seconds. "Retreat," he ordered. "Full retreat." The remaining Council ships turned and fled. More than half of the fleet had been destroyed or damaged. Back on Earth, Chief Engineer Frank Wilson watched the battle from the control center. Around him, operators monitored the defense systems he had designed. "The gravity disruptors worked perfectly," he told General Hayes, "and the time dilation field exceeded expectations." President Powell entered the room. "Good work, everyone. But this is just the beginning. The Council will be back with a larger force." "Let them come," Frank said confidently. "While they've been standing still, we've been moving forward. Do you know why humans advance so quickly with their technology?" "Tell me," Powell said. "It's how we think," Frank explained. "The Council species all evolved toward specialization. Each species does one thing very well, but humans evolve to adapt. We take ideas from everywhere and combine them in new ways." General Hayes nodded. "And we don't follow rules when they don't make sense." "Exactly," Frank agreed. "The Council expects everyone to fight the same way they do. But we created weapons they've never imagined because we don't think like they do." President Powell looked at the screen showing the retreating Council ships. "Admiral Kextor will report back to the Council. What do you think they'll do next?" "They'll panic," General Hayes said with a small smile. "They'd just discovered that the species they dismissed as primitive can defeat their best fleet. They don't understand us, and that scares them more than anything." Across the galaxy, Admiral Kextor's damaged flagship limped back to Council space. He dreaded giving his report. How could he explain that the mighty Council fleet had been defeated by a species that had only discovered space travel a few decades ago? The Council's worst fear had come true. They had encountered a species they couldn't control. The Galactic Council chamber had never been so loud. Council members shouted over each other as Admiral Kextor finished his report about the failed attack on Earth. Silence. Voxnar finally shouted. The room quieted. "This is a disaster. The humans defeated our best fleet with technology they shouldn't have." "It's worse than that," said Dr. Vextal, stepping forward. "We're detecting human ships throughout our territory. They could strike anywhere." As if to prove his point, the lights in the chamber suddenly went out. When they came back on seconds later, a hologram appeared in the center of the room. It showed a human man in a formal uniform. "Greetings, Galactic Council. I am Ambassador Samuel Harris of Earth. I'm sorry we couldn't meet in person, but you keep trying to attack us." Voxnar stood up, his face pale. "How are you broadcasting in our secure chamber?" Samuel smiled. "We've been studying your technology for years. Your security isn't as good as you think." "What do you want?" Voxnar demanded. "To talk," Samuel replied. But not just to you, to everyone. The hologram expanded, and suddenly Samuel's face was being broadcast to every planet in Council space. Citizens of the galaxy, my name is Samuel Harris from Earth. The Council has told you that humans are dangerous and hostile. What they haven't told you is that they tried to trick us into becoming a resource colony with no real voice in galactic affairs. Council members tried to shut down the broadcast, but nothing worked. Samuel continued. For thousands of years, the Council has done this to primitive species. They offer technology and protection, but the fine print turns new members into servants. We rejected their offer and chose independence. In response, they tried to attack our world. Samuel's image was replaced by video of the recent battle, showing Council ships firing on Earth before being defeated. We don't want war, Samuel continued as his face reappeared. But we won't be colonies either. Starting today, Earth is offering direct trade agreements to any world that wants them. We'll trade fairly, with no hidden terms. Judge for yourselves which is better, the Council's rules or Earth's friendship. The broadcast ended. In the Council chamber, panic erupted. Cut all communication with Earth, Voxnar ordered. Any world that deals with humans will face severe sanctions. But it was too late. On the outer rim planet of Nelbian, Governor Ziv watched the broadcast with interest. His world had always received the worst trade deals from the Council. Contact Earth, he told his aide. I want to hear what they're offering. Similar conversations happened on dozens of worlds across the galaxy. Many had long suspected the Council favored the founding species over newer members. The Council tried to regain control. They sent messages warning of human treachery. They threatened sanctions against any world that dealt with Earth. 3 days later, every power grid on the Council homeworld shut down for exactly 1 hour. When power returned, a simple message appeared on all screens. This was a demonstration. We could have kept the power off. Think carefully about threats. President Powell watched reports from across the galaxy in her command center on Earth. 17 worlds have already contacted us about trade agreements, General Hayes reported. Most are on the outer rim, but 3 are major industrial planets. And the Council? Powell asked. In complete disarray, Hayes replied with a smile. They've never faced a situation like this. They don't know if we're about to attack their core worlds or not. We're not, Powell said firmly. We just needed to show strength. Ambassador Harris's broadcast did exactly what we wanted. It showed other worlds that the Council can be challenged. Lisa Green, recently returned from her undercover mission, stepped forward. Based on my time among them, many Council species are ready for change. They've been waiting for someone to stand up to the leadership. Powell nodded. Then it's time for the next step. Send a message to the Council. Tell them we're ready to talk. But this time, we set the terms. For the first time in 4,000 years, the Galactic Council chamber held representatives from a species that had rejected Council membership. President Diane Powell and General Hayes sat at a large table facing the Council leaders. The room was tense and silent. Voxnar spoke first. Earth has caused great disruption in our galaxy. 23 worlds have broken trade agreements with the Council to deal with you directly. President Powell nodded calmly. Those worlds made their own choices, just as Earth did when we rejected your unfair offer. What do you want? Voxnar asked directly. You've proven your point. You have technology that rivals ours. You've shown you can strike throughout our territory. We want what we always wanted, Powell said. Fairness, equality, respect. She stood and walked to the center of the chamber. All eyes followed her. For too long, the Council has been controlled by the original founding species. Newer members have little voice. Resource-rich worlds are exploited. This must end. Around the chamber, representatives from newer Council worlds nodded in agreement. Many had suffered under unfair policies for centuries. Here is our proposal, Powell continued. A new galactic charter. One that gives equal representation to all species, regardless of how long they've been in space. One that protects the rights of all worlds, not just the powerful ones. She gestured, and a holographic document appeared in front of each council member. This charter would reform the council completely, Voxnar said after reading it. The founding species would lose their special status. Yes, Powell agreed, because no species deserves special treatment just for being first. Intelligence and advancement can be found everywhere in the galaxy. A small green-skinned representative stood up. This was Ambassador Kree from a world that had joined the Council only 200 years ago. My people support this proposal, Kree said boldly. We have suffered under unfair resource quotas for generations. It is time for change. One by one, representatives from newer council worlds stood to support the human proposal. The old guard looked around in shock as they realized they were losing control. After 3 days of intense debate, a vote was called. The result surprised everyone. The human charter passed with a slim majority. The Galactic Council would be reformed. There is one more thing, President Powell said after the vote. Earth will host a new branch of the Council dedicated to technological innovation. All species will work together to advance the galaxy, not just a privileged few. And what guarantee do we have that humans won't use their technology against us? Asked a council elder. General Hayes stepped forward. The same guarantee you have from any member, our word and the new charter. But remember, we could have attacked at any time. We chose to talk instead. 6 months later, Jack Miller and Susan White, who had rejected the Council's first treaty years ago, watched as the new Galactic Charter was signed. The ceremony took place in a grand hall built specially for the occasion in New York City. Representatives from hundreds of worlds attended. Did you ever imagine it would end like this? Susan asked, when we told that first ambassador to leave. Jack shook his head. Never. I just knew we couldn't accept those terms. And now we've changed the entire galaxy, Susan said with wonder. Voxnar, no longer the council leader, but now just one representative among many, approached them. I must admit, we never understood humans, he said. We thought you rejected us out of fear or ignorance. We didn't realize you saw problems in our system that we had ignored for millennia. That's the thing about humans, Jack replied. We ask questions. We don't just accept things because that's how they've always been. As the ceremony concluded, President Powell gave a short speech that was broadcast across the galaxy. Today marks a new chapter for all intelligent species, she said. We have proven that even the oldest institutions can change for the better. Earth did not reject diplomacy. We rejected unfairness. And in doing so, we found our true place among the stars, not as subjects, but as equals. The Galactic Council had indeed panicked when humans rejected their diplomacy, but from that panic came a better galaxy for all.